Hi, I'm Jyothi Gupta. I'm a spatial geospatial data scientist. I've done my MSc in Smart Cities and Urban Analytics from UCL CASA, Center of Advanced Spatial Analytics from London. Right, so I will be talking about smart and healthy buildings, and I will be taking you what actually it is, what you mean by smart buildings, and later I will take you as complete set of cities with the buildings, how they are connected. What is a smart building? Smarter buildings are well managed, integrated, physical and digital infrastructure that are optimally utilized. Why are we doing it? To be more reliable, cost effective, and end of the day, it needs to be sustainable. Smart cities, smart buildings is being operated for cost effective and reducing the energy of the building generated. There are a lot of buildings across the city, but making it a building smarter will be very beneficial for you and for the citizens who are staying there. Using active and designated techniques to achieve a reliable and efficiency building is important, and it's our responsibility as a citizen to make it more environment friendly. How do we provide this? How is it visible? It is because of the automation that's available in the building system, which we can incorporate in the buildings and make the building more smarter and realize how actually we can make the building automized, controllable, and more easier. I would say it in a simple word. We should also take care of the security, which is a major responsibility these days. As the increase in technology, there increase in crime also. So having a safer and secure environment is a priority for the building environment. Going ahead, to create this kind of smart building in this real-time environment, we need to support the infrastructure. How actually we do that? It's with help of smart grid, with the help of broadband, and with the help of digital technology. I had seen this case study in London because when I was in London, I was like, okay, let me see something about a smart building because there's lots on the paper. Let's actually see what's existing. This building, the Crystal, that has been executed by Siemens, it's one of the best or a valuable example throughout the world. I would say when I personally visited this building, it was a normal curvilinear, slightly curved roof with a green roof around it for people to have a valuable habitat. Siemens Building Management, which runs about 12,000 control points basically to maximize the efficiency of this building. You know, the best part of this building is we access this building through a cable car. I think this is something very innovative that we can find out. Accessing a building using a cable car, having the electrical charge point around the side, and it's also available for the public to use. That's a benefit that we can talk about in this building. Apart from that, the safety and security and operated system throughout the building, how intelligent the technology is. It's like the natural daylight, they are using it, the solar thermal water heating facility, the rainwater harvesting, how the high performance glass is used for self-shading the technology, how the photofabric material is used in the building to reuse the natural sunlight and use it in the LED function, the natural and mechanical ventilation, because seeing London, it's like all the 12 months is quite cooler. So we don't need an aircon system here, but we need a heater system, which keeps the building warmer. The electric vehicle charger that's been underground with a smart node, the heat pump, the hot water storage around it, and finally the water efficiency landscape, which creates an environment saying that yes, this is a smart building, a live exhibit example in London. What are the basic need for a building to clarify? By 2025, buildings will be one consumer of energy. About 50% of energy and water in the buildings are often wasted. But with this technology, with this smart metering, we can ensure how we can save this and make it more smarter. Real estate is the second largest expense in the whole world. And if we introduce this kind of smart technology, not only it's becoming smarter, it's also healthier. Data science, data center energy can be doubled in over 5 years, which can be used in a better, efficient way. The benefit of improving the building efficiencies are real. Trust me or no, there is a 40% of energy reduction. The usage has reduced up to 40% and the maintenance cost is increased by 30%. Agreed, there is an increase in the maintenance cost, but if you see the statistics, if you plot it across, the more the energy is saved, the maintenance is, no, we have to maintain. It's like without giving, we don't get it anything. I hope there is a clarity in that. Higher the building, usage of rates in the smarter building occupancy. So how you go vertical, there will be a statistics says that there will be a smarter rate usage in the smarter buildings, 91% of occupancy. 18% rise in productivity. How well the employee productivity is being increased, about 18%. 65% of occupancy are working in an environment which they are going to be responsible. So they will work in an environment to keep their building more efficient. So are we in a smart place or not? How do we really realize that? How do we analyze that whether we are in a smarter place? First, we need to analyze the field that we are working across, that we work out with the help of the data collection and consolidation. Then comes in my field or anyone who should get into it, that is a geospatial data science, wherein we do analysis and we do artificial intelligence. Based on using of ML and AI algorithms on the data that has been generated, we can monitor and control it. And finally, we can predict or we can give a proper presentation of where the growth is happening and how we can have a better control over the future. Smart buildings can be of various shapes and size, whether you are a office going person, a commercial using a commercial building, or whether you are a student who has just joined a university. That's a smart educational system. Whether you would like to be in a medical facility like a smarter hospital. When a smarter hospital comes, I would recommend or highly give an example of Singapore. Singapore is one of the countries wherein the medical services has peaked the statistics and it's growing tremendously. In fact, we need to consider Singapore hospitals or medical services as a prototype and ensure that that kind of buildings are being executed in each and every part of the country so that the citizen of that city is become more smart, more access to technology and a better usage of being a better the facility for both the patient and the GP. The doctor also or the nurses will have a better facility to give access to their patients. Smarter airport. I would say how sustainable the airport is, how the energy is being used, because airport or the connectivity between two states or two countries are the main node in the network. And if this airport or the node is being sustainable, the buildings can be more smarter technologically and also intelligently how it can be analyzed. When we all discuss these 8 pillars, we come up into a great new world of a smart city. Smart city, believe it or not, it is not about how the city is being smarter. There is a lot of predefined definitions, or I would say there is nothing defined. If you just Google smart city, you will get way beyond definitions about it's intelligent building, it is a digital building, it is city, which is Wikipedia itself is confused. What is a smart city? Smart city, if you just understand in your terms, it's making the life of a citizen more easier with the help of technology. If I put it in a simple terms, it's a city wherein a person sitting at office can operate the aircon system of his home. It's a city wherein a person can sit in his car and check an appointment with a GP and access the medical services. It is a city wherein the energy is being reutilized, wherein it be a more sustainable place, wherein the sunlight or the rainwater harvesting or whether the sewage treatment, it's all being accessible, and all the services, I would say the real estate services, is come and comes first in a big balloon, and it's being taken care by a BMS, a building management system. And this is operated with lot of data across it. Right. Till now, I spoke about a lot of things about smart buildings, healthy buildings, concluded with smart cities. But are we really enjoying it, what we really speak? Frankly speaking, there are a lot of issues faced both by the builders and the building owners. First, the foremost, the budget. Don't think it will be easier to build a smarter building. To, to consider a building, it has to have a volatile energy cost, which creates both capital and operating budget challenges. We need to understand these challenges are there in the budget, but how we can tackle this and make more efficient use of the asset. Seek the ability of better managing the assets and its energy requirement. How we can manage the requirement. We should also see how the global competition demands the ability to address the competitive issues quickly and accurately. We should also focus on the core mission of a building. Why are we doing a smart building? We are doing it to increase the efficiency and the productivity. But how are we actually gaining the importance across that? That's more important. The corporate citizenship and perception. I think, frankly speaking, there's a lot of suppliers which provides the green credentials. It's LEED certified, it's regulated, it's mandatory, it's a carbon accounting system. It's need to be sustainable. It needs to have an integral part to the company brand. In US alone, commercial buildings consumes about 42% of the all energy, and it generates nearly 900 MT of green gases, that is a GHG. Smarter buildings can be reliable, can be efficient, and it should be sustainable. Nevertheless, the lower energy cost improves the operating efficiency, the greater occupancy safety and satisfaction that we achieve in a smart building. What is the solution we obtain from the smart buildings? Whether or not, oh, cool. Okay, whether or not we understand what is the space management, we utilize it, the condition monitoring of a building, and finally, the core capability. There is building analytics, there is condition-based modeling, there is energy optimizations that we need to take care. And last but not the least, the security, which I have mentioned, is most important. Oh, okay. I think my slide, okay. Next, what is the major roadmap of technology? Connectivity, ha ha ha, there is 5G in the background. How are we using the 5G technology? The sensing, the IoTs, the edge computing. Finally, all this happens when a human and a machine-based interaction happens, that is the AI and the machine learning. I would like you to importance on the slides. If you see from 1970, how our city was an individual bits and pieces, and as the years have passed, in 2030, you see a more responsive and a resilient city, better interconnected, and increasingly tomorrow, how we see ourselves. So as it's a demand-driven, user-focused and experience-centered place, it's more proactive and adaptable. The city of tomorrow is what we see. So how does connectivity happen? Whether you're walking on the street, or whether you are cycling, or whether you are playing in the playground, or you're driving a vehicle, everywhere it's connected. We know where you are, and we can actually take the data and predict the movement of the user. The 8 major pillars of what actually a smarter place is, whether it's mobility, energy efficiency, security, health and fitness, the user engagement, and telecommunication. Finally, I would like to talk to you about the machine learning and AI benefits, how we understand and learn the patterns with the different sources, whether we are able to understand the trends of human which cannot be found. We can also predict the future traffic patterns, which recommends how the potential solution are. And end of the day, why we are doing it is to have a brighter future. So when I summarize my presentation today, basically, we are doing a smarter buildings to have a better township. We are differentiating factors to attract tenants, both residentially and business wise. There is to improve efficiencies, lower the operating cost, and analytics plays a major role. Finally, to have to leverage a smarter infrastructure and to have a remote manner, like to have a better common infrastructure location spatially wise. So with this, Linda, I give it to you. Hello.
Hey, are there any questions? Thank you, Jyothi.
Yeah.
I don't see any questions coming up.
Can I would like to also speak about few real GIS technology that's used for smarter cities. You know, we should also understand it is not surprising that there is a lot of digital resources that's coming in, and a mind offered city manager or cooperation is more importantly what actually is smarter. There is a lot of digital technology that interests us with regards to its operation or management. How are we addressing this problem of a modern city? In turn, we see how a smarter city stimulates and generates the interaction with the computer, with the network, and censors the creativity of a smarter city. So in GIS, like a geographic information science and system, this is something a new, I can say a subject in a whole smarter environment, you know. And I suggest that we all need to upgrade ourselves with this technology. Whether it's cities of a complex agglomeration of houses and buildings, or streets, or roads, or networks, or shopping malls, cities benefit from a shorter distance between various parts, whether it's between the shopping centers or between the industrial plants. Cities that benefit from a shorter distance between various parts have, for example, in LA, there is a lot of endless sprawls. We don't know what's actually happening in the States, especially in LA, because the pattern created is so vast, and we need a geospatial approach in the city. It's essential for the city management and the idea behind a smart city. In proposing a special section of what actually a city is, we should also keep ourselves updated that in any smart city, there is a comprehensive approach of how we are really creating a broad umbrella of a network of smarter technologies. We have enabled a lot of smart city application, whether it's transport, mobility, or disaster management, especially in Japan, smarter business, the economy, smarter energy, or whether it's the connectivity between the communities. How are we doing a real-time geo-processing activity? We don't need a big SQL database to really get into the server, to analyze, to see how the advantages are, or whether to streamline this architecture. There is urban simulation and analytics that's been taught to me in UCL. I would like to say the agent-based modeling, the network models are the major science behind the urban simulation. It's important to note that the GIS data source collected by mobile phone or the sensor network or any IoT device, it's important for the ICT, whether it's through Wi-Fi or 5G or a satellite communication, how the connectivity is enabled between the real-time space. We should also there is a difference between a traditional GIS platform and a real-time platform, because it's important for us to have a high-speed connectivity of GIS between the data and the stream. And as the location is very sensitive, it's better for us to analyze. I will just tell you a case study about London Underground Station. We had collected we had studied the oyster data for the London Underground, because we have the take in and take out. When going through the data, we realized that the timings basically in the morning or the evening is the peak times, because it's all red alerted. When we geospatially analyze the data, we try to find out why the network between the nodes are not that smooth running, and how we can make it a more free place for people to communicate and access the facility. So the progress of each dimension is very important for the GIS have to understand the broader vision of a smart city. Well, I would also like to talk about ICT, information and communication technologies, which is also a buzzword these days. And people talk about their data collected from a smarter device, whether it's a smart house device or a mobile phone. How well is the data transferred to a data center, which is easily shared and exchanged among connected devices? For instance, the RFDI, that is a radio frequency identification, is a technology that is used to identify the movement object based on the electromagnetic field. Now, this RFDI tag can be embedded virtually in any object, whether it's an industrial good or an animal or a human being, both for the outdoor and indoor tracking purpose. This RFDI used in smart cities, especially in the real-time waste management or smart parking or transportation detection mode. Whether it's a Wi-Fi, which helps this technology to upgrade the end users to have a high-speed remote access to the internet, or comparatively, it's a standard cable network or a wireless communication, which has a better flexibility and mobility of a smart city user. To identify each and every Wi-Fi facility, we need to also have the movement, whether it's in Great Britain, the retail centers, or a mobile device which in presence of Wi-Fi have a wireless router. The location information from a mobile can be obtained through a triangulation of using multiple APs. In the dense urban environment where there is a Wi-Fi coverage, almost everywhere the data becomes easily collectible for the consumer, and during the visit to any retail store, the count of the pedestrian is in the crowd is being tracked, so that the retail center data is used in a smart business application, and that is benefited both for the low cost and the higher availability techniques. Such evaluation is important to analyze the properties and also the rental values of any business. Wi-Fi, whether it is a real-time indoor positioning technology, whether it's used for smart city applications such as mapping urban population or human movement analytics, it is important to control the smart home device. So I think with this, I would conclude saying that any Wi-Fi wireless sensor network in a building block, whether it's a smart building or a healthy building, we need to have the IoT, the Internet of Things, which is used to deploy it in the city to sense and collect the data from the environment, whether it's temperature, humidity, air pollution. These sensors are attached to your mobile phones, and these sensors can be used to monitor the physical condition in real time. This is an advantage of a low cost, low energy consumption, which is easily deployed and scaled. And to ensure the scalability of network, have a dynamic routing scheme which ensures efficiency from the transfer of data among the sensor nodes. This is what RFDI and GPS is used, and I would say this kind of challenges helps to create a noise and obstacle in the urban environment, which is a bottleneck between the sensor node and the gateway. This generation of technology offers us new opportunity and can approach the problems that we are coming ahead with the smart buildings. So with this advanced technologies, including the Bluetooth facility is more reliable, and the data exchange in the real time of the city data is obvious, is highly recommended. So with this, I would like to conclude. My credentials are there in the slides, and I will be happy to get any email or a tweet of any questions, or if you need any data of what actually I spoke, I would be happy to share my research.